Hi, my name is Adrienne Raimo. I'm an integrative and functional dietitian with One Bite Wellness. You may have seen our other two videos on the RKIN reverse osmosis system that goes under your kitchen sink and the countertop versions, the RKIN zero installation purifiers known as the AlkaPure and the Only Pure. These reverse osmosis systems are great for having safer, high-quality water. Today we'll show you the setup process for the RKIN salt-based water softener and carbon filter system combo. This system helps in two main ways. One, it removes impurities from your water, and two, it prevents hardness buildup throughout your home. Here are some signs that you might have hard water in your home and could benefit from a water softener. There's residue on your sinks, tiles, and shower doors. Your water faucets have a low flow rate. Your tap water tastes odd. Your skin feels itchy and dry after bathing. Your hair might be dull instead of shiny, and clothes from your laundry might seem dull or grimy. Because the RKIN combo system treats the whole house, you'll see and feel the benefits of softer water in your showers and baths, your drinking water, and more. You can also use your outdoor faucet to water your garden or even fill your pool with better water. The products featured in this video were provided by the manufacturer. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. We are not certified plumbers. We are, however, demonstrating our setup process and the subsequent testing of our water. Please consult your local plumbers and plumbing codes to ensure your system is safely set up with your existing water lines. First, you'll want to unbox and gather all the parts together. Read through the manuals provided to get a sense of tools needed, additional parts that you'll need, especially for any modification to your current plumbing, and to develop a plan and a timeline for setup. Speaking of setup, we suggest getting a sense of the order of the system by putting the main parts together as sort of a dry run, if you will. Remember that the RKIN system is to be in the following order. Water coming into the house is to go through the carbon filter first, then the sediment filter, followed by the water softener. Lastly, you'll see that the brine tank needs to be set up to access the softener tank, as this is where the mineral exchange takes place. You can set up without bypass valves or with them, like we did. One of the benefits to installing bypass valves is the ease of maintenance, especially when replacing seals or filters. If you're not super handy and super strong, and more like me, it will benefit you greatly to have such a person to help. If you are handy and strong, you might be able to pull off this project on your own, but a buddy will still be helpful to hold plumbing in place, check for leaks when you turn the water back on, and more. Manuals will instruct you to fill the carbon filter and then let it sit for a minimum of 2 days before running water through the system again to rinse it. Ideally, in warmer weather, you could set the carbon filter out on the driveway and use a garden hose to run the water through. Because we set our system up during winter and in the basement, we set up a system including running garden hoses to the carbon filter from our sink and another garden hose that emptied into the floor drain. We found it helpful to have an additional PVC adapter for this process. After running water through the system, we let it sit for a couple of days. You might want towels for any potential leaks. We left the garden hoses attached so that it was easy to run water through the system to rinse it. Beware that the water will be a charcoal color to begin with and will need time to flush. You'll want to create a secure hold for your sediment filter, which is what we did here. While you're waiting for the system to be rinsed, you can do as we did and start wrapping Teflon tape carefully around the fittings of the system. This will help ensure a secure connection and avoid leaks. Okay, now comes the installation part. Depending on how your plumbing is set up, and if you had a previous water softener, you might find this essentially more plug and play. This was not the case for us, so we'll show you some extra steps we took to get the plumbing set up and then the system installed. Step 1. We drew out a plan of CPVC pipes needed, compression fittings, valves needed, and where the plumbing needed to be cut and modified. We highly recommend this part. 'Tis better to have a plan than to run out to your local hardware store for each piece individually as you need it, or to mistakenly cut into a pipe too high. Step 2. We went shopping for the plumbing supplies needed and then started the process of cutting the CPVC pipes to spec. We also sanded the pieces and glued them. You might want to use the garage for this and let them off gas for a few hours. Step 3. This is very important. You want to turn off your main water supply before beginning plumbing work or installation. Step 4. Back in the basement and with our water turned off, we cut the existing plumbing to work with our new plan. We glued and inserted the pieces needed and waited for them to dry. Because we had the RKIN system already connected together and to the brine tank, our next step was to test the system. Step 5. Testing the system. We put the valves into the correct positions and then slowly turned the water back on. We identified leaks and fixed them by tightening connections with the wrench. Now that we could verify that the system was working and the valves were in correct position, we downloaded the app and entered the necessary information we had obtained from our local water provider about hardness and how much iron was in our water. Step 6. Our super handy partner in this process 3D printed a cylinder to fit over our drain so that the tubes running from the filter and the brine tank fit. We also put about 200 pounds of salt obtained from our local hardware store into the brine tank. Step 7. Once you have the app set up, you'll want to be around the system to watch it backwash and operate for the first time and ensure drain lines stay in place and that the system is operating smoothly. And that's it. It does seem like a process, and it is, but with careful planning, a buddy, and the correct tools, as well as customer support from RKIN or support from your local plumber, you'll be on your way to carbon-filtered, softer water for your whole house. It's worth it. Let's show you the difference. Here is our tap water. Not only does it look unappealing, but the TDS, or total dissolved solids, reads a hefty 770 parts per million. Behind that, in the left corner, the tap water, which has now been softened with the RKIN system, now is lowered to 592 parts per million. In the right front, we took our reverse osmosis filtered water and got a much lower number, 38 parts per million. Lastly, the reverse osmosis filtered water, with the extra benefit of being softened, is 22 parts per million. We hope you can see the difference that having softened and reverse osmosis filtered water makes. If you want to remineralize your water, you can add, like we do, trace mineral drops. We'll provide a link below in the description. There are quite a few ways to use your softened water. Drinking it and using it to make coffee or tea, for bottle feeding babies, cooking, watering plants, particularly those that you plan to eat, ironing, for your aquarium or giving it to your pets to drink, and for rinsing produce, for you, your family, and your pets. Every bunny deserves clean, fresh drinking water. Curious about how you can save on your RKIN purchase? Click on the affiliate link in the description and save 10% off at checkout. Thanks for watching.